Well, I've got an interesting subject to talk about today. What you're seeing here right now is a little frame I put together of some points that I made out of Texas flint. And they're all kicking around on my counter, and I had this little case, so I thought, what the heck, I'll put them all together and see how they look, and I like them. They're all different types in there. So, anyway, what I want to talk about is rescuing artifacts. Now, I know we all like to say that when we find artifacts that we're not taking them, we're rescuing them. So I'm going to show you a rescue I made here a couple of years ago. Oh, before we get too far, I was going to show you that Paleo Man did get some sun, and I'm looking a whole lot better now. Of course, this is the look I got after my trade war with Alabama Jones. I had to go into total camo and sneak around. You know, you never know when a sneak attack's coming from Bama Jones. So, back to the subject at hand. Anyway, a couple of years ago, an old classmate of mine said that he had some junk in the shop that he wanted to clean out. His dad had passed away, and he had a big dumpster sitting up outside the old homestead. And he says, my dad collected rocks, and he just didn't throw away anything, and I don't have any need for this stuff. Do you want it? Well, hey, I always want rocks. And when I got there, this is some of the rocks that I found that he was going to put in the dumpster. I'll show you this later. Look at what I'm looking at in here. These are absolutely beautiful celts. All kinds of tools. Look at this. Look at this faux groove here. His dad was a collector, and so was his grandfather. And apparently this stuff was just laying around in his man cave. And of course, the son was cleaning out the man cave, and he decided that none of this stuff was of interest to him. Look at this beauty here. I'm kind of inspired to shoot this video because Cabelli and I talked about he didn't realize that we find so many celts and adzes. Now you're probably wondering, he asked me, he goes, why do you call them a celt or an axe? Well, this one right here has got a bit that runs right down, pretty much straight down the middle. So I would call that an axe. Anything, let's see if I got one here. That's got a slight curve to it, and it's flat on the bottom. So this one would be mounted in a handle like this, and then it would be used to chop or hollow out something. So I would call that an adze. But these things are incredible. Look at this little guy here. I could go on and on with this stuff. And then there was pestles that he thought were completely useless. Look at this honker here. That's a beautiful pestle, and it even has a tag on it telling where he found it. And it comes from an area not far from here that was quite a famous Native American settlement. Here's one that I'm quite intrigued by. I've always wanted to find one of these. This is a gouge. I don't know how many of you guys find these, but this is a perfect gouge. Beautiful channel ground through there. Can you imagine throwing this in a dumpster? The thought alone makes me crazy. Here's a really nice pestle here. Yeah, it's got a few plow strikes in it, but back when these were found, I think that the equipment wasn't as heavy and abusive on the ground as it is now. I mean, we've got these huge tractors now that just destroy everything. Now, this type of adze here is a Lamoka beveled adze. And again, you can see the curvature in the bit, but you also see there's bevels on the sides here. This is a classic Lamoka beveled adze style. As you look down in there, these pestles are just stacked like cordwood, and there's also many more pieces of celts, even little guys like this. You know, it's got a great little edge on it. There's another celt here. But anyway, I rescued this from being thrown into a dumpster and lost in a landfill somewhere, and I was just thrilled to death that I was able to get my hands on this stuff. It just haunts me to think, you know, that this stuff could have actually been just used as fill or garbage. So let's see what else there was. This isn't all. This is just the hard stone stuff. There was boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. I went through all the boxes and I sorted everything, and here's the arrowheads that I pulled out. Look at this drill. That drill's perfect. Look at the size of some of these pieces. Now, these are big for us. Nice little metalwood point here. You know, the box is just full of great pieces. Nice little arrowhead here. So that's just some of the flint stuff. There was other things. These are the old original boxes. Some of these. Look at these pipe stems and things here. It's a nice little point right here. It's a dandy little bird point. Probably kind of a modified Madison. But, you know, here's a pipe stem. Some beautiful designs on it. Check this dude out here. It's like a face. This is part of a pipe bowl. I can imagine finding things like this. But remember again, this is probably a napping tool here. Little piece of antler. And here's a pipe stem, clay pipe stem, trade pipe. But imagine this stuff was going to be tossed out. Here's a dandy little scraper, celt, little axe. It's got a nice sharpened little bit right here. That's probably a nice woodworking tool. And here in this bag here, these are all triangles or Madisons, Levanas that I've sorted out. But then there's all this stuff too. And again, I did paw through most of the stuff. Here's a bag of just the broken stuff. That's not bad. Some of that stuff, maybe the tip's knocked off, maybe one of the ears. But look at these guys here. There's a beautiful mortar. Both sides dished out really, really well. Well, I guess you guys might call them metates. Here's another dandy here. Both sides. But you can look and you can see here's a broken gouge. It's a shame. Oh, and down in here there's examples of pottery. Here's a piece of a steatite bowl. Everything you can think of is in here. Look at these nifty little hammer stones. These are the napping tools. I really get excited over these. Look at the wear around this thing. But we've got net weights, all kinds of those here. You can see they're all just kind of laid in here as I sorted through things and checked it out. Classic little net weights. It's an interesting piece. I think this is a maul or a hammer. It's got a groove around it. I could just picture putting a haft around that and using that to pound steaks with. It'd be perfect for that. Anyway, that's a really quick look at what there is here. It'd take me hours to show you all the individual stones, but keep in mind that everything I've shown you here is a rescue mission. These were all destined to go to a landfill. So get the word out to people that have collections, that make sure they make arrangements to have these things and pass along to people that do appreciate them and enjoy them, or else they could end up in a dumpster and be lost forever. So thanks for watching, and I got a little bit more in the house. I'll show you a few personal celts that I've found, and I'll be back. What you see here is pretty much my total collection of the celts and adzes and axes that I've found. Now, this one here was actually given to me by a friend. He got it somewhere, I'm not sure. He didn't find it. But with that curved bit, once again, I'm calling this one an adze. It's very smooth on the bottom here, which would actually be the top if it was mounted in a handle like this, with my arm being the handle. You want the curved part to the bottom, and you would just chip with it like this into charred wood or into soft pine, whatever. But that's a classic. But this is my only full groove that I found. It's not the greatest thing. It's been used to death, where the bit's just pretty well gone. But the groove does remain in the pole. And these aren't found around my area very often. There's another nice hefty beveled adze. Bit's seen some pretty heavy use wear. And I was thrilled with that one. I found that way back when I first started looking. Here's more of an axe, grooveless axe, made out of the green stone that was used pretty much primarily to make these things. And here's a really nice little guy right here. Look at how handy that is. I wonder if that wasn't even just a flesher, you know, for us. When you skin an animal, you want to flesh off all the fat and stuff from the underside and meat. That'd work real good in the hand. Another little celt, pretty well used up. I like this little guy here. This edge is sharp on this one. It's just how I found it. Another little fella. I've always wondered about this one. This is as light as a feather. It's obviously been shaped. Almost looks like it was chipped into shape. And then ground. The plow did knock off part of the bit, but what remains is a pretty sharp edge. Here's another one. Shows a little damage on the pole end, but the bit looks good. This one's pretty rough. I wonder if it wasn't used up or maybe in progress. I can only imagine. This one here is intriguing to me. I think it was a celt because it does show the grinding on the sides. But it looks also like maybe after it broke, it was used as an abrader because you can see the cuts and grooves in here. So if you were using it to grind the edge of your biface as you're knapping it, this would make a really good abrading stone. Another classic Lamoka beveled adze. And that's what we find a lot of in our areas, the beveled adzes. And here's probably one of the nicest ones I ever did find. You can see the bevels plainly, the smooth upper side, and a really, really nice curved, very, very slightly curved bit. So that is pretty much my whole collection. The very first adze I found was this one right there. And in that same field, I found this one here. Now this has been broken off, but it's a pretty nice adze. I found this back in '84. Thrilled to death to find them. These things do get beat up really bad by plows and discs. So once again, I rescued that from the field. And here's something I made a while back. I don't know how well you're going to see this. It's called the 6 stages of reduction. Got a little sweetgrass hanging here. What it is, it shows where you take a spall and then you do some edging and then some primary thinning and then secondary thinning. It's a preform or a biface there, and then it's finally finished out as a notched point. Again, I don't know how well you can see this because it's kind of in the corner here, and it's something I used to make. I made one for a museum here locally, and it helps people understand the process. So anyway, once again, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day and maybe learn something along the way here.